Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, August 8th, 2023. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief presented by Annapolis Subaru and the SPCA of Anne Arundel County. Well, that was a fun storm yesterday. Seems like Annapolis actually dodged most of it with that infamous Annapolis weather bubble, which is fine by me. But I got my grass cut before the storms came in, so I'm going to call it a win. Anyhow, let's get into today's news, shall we? The city of Annapolis posted a somewhat cryptic post on Facebook yesterday. The intersection of Bay Ridge Avenue and Tyler Avenue will be undergoing construction for approximately 30 days starting this morning. So much for notice. But the construction will be between 8:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. And here's where it gets cryptic. They said that emergency vehicles are going to be able to pass, but others should use an alternate route. I asked if that meant that the intersection is essentially closed down and they'll let emergency vehicles through, or does it mean that it is open with congestion and delays? No response from the city. So all I have for you is expect one of the main intersections in the city of Annapolis to be under some sort of construction for the next month. And probably if you have kids, be prepared for school bus delays and issues when school does start up again in egads, 2 weeks. The Baltimore Banner has a really good and detailed story on this, but several months ago we told you about Dr. Ron Elfenbein being indicted for COVID fraud. He ran a clinic up in Gambrills, and actually at the onset of the COVID, he invented a crazy lucite box that people would put their heads in while the doctors reached in with gloves and swabbed their noses. He also ran for several political offices here in Annapolis. Anyhow, after the indictment, he did have his trial, and a jury found him guilty of 5 counts of healthcare fraud. He is scheduled to be sentenced in November and is looking at a maximum of 50 years in prison. Weed is big business. Gold Leaf, that shiny cannabis store on West Street, is headquartered here in Annapolis, which actually I don't think I knew, and it is expanding to the Sunshine State in a big way. Currently, they have a very large 250,000 square foot facility to grow, cultivate, and process. But now they are looking at 2 other 50,000 square feet cultivation facilities this fall, one in Bradenton to handle the West Coast and one in Pompano to handle the East Coast. Distribution aside, they also opened up one retail store in Sebring, another in Tampa is in the works, and a prototype 8,000 square foot cannabis superstore is slated for Orlando. Kudos to Gold Leaf. And kudos to another business here. Anne Arundel Medical Center was just recognized for the level of care they offer to patients with severe heart attacks. The American Heart Association gave them a gold top honors for STEMI treatment, which is an acronym for a specific and serious type of heart attack called a ST elevation myocardial infarction. Not sure what the heck that is, but I'm darn glad to know that AAMC can handle it. We mentioned this last week, but it does bear repeating again. August 13th through 19th is Shop Maryland Tax-Free Week. Not everything, darn it, but a lot of the back-to-school essentials are tax-free. It does cover all clothing and footwear as long as each piece is under $100. So those Louboutin shoes are not included, but you could buy a million pairs of $99 Nike sneakers. Also, it's good for the first $40 of any backpack, and I suppose if Louboutin does make backpacks, you can save tax on the first $40 of that. But August 13th through the 19th, that's when you need to get your shopping done, and it is not just for the back-to-school crowd, it is good for anyone. And again, thank you to all who continue to sign up for our daily news recap. We have just over 10,000 subscribers now, and I can't thank you all enough. If you want to be part of the crowd, I'll drop a link right here in the show notes. It's free, it's short, it's sweet. It comes to your email inbox every day at 7 p.m., and all we need is an email address. As we begin to wrap it up, it is Ticket Tuesday brought to you by Rams Head On Stage, and you want to be sure to check out ramsheadonstage.com for all the upcoming great shows. I do have 2 shows again today. The first is tomorrow night. It is John Eddy, and it is the 20th anniversary of his debut album, Who the Hell is John Eddy? And you can go and find out if you don't already know. The other one is on Thursday for Jacko Pierce, and I don't know a whole lot about them, but they are a duo that the Dallas Morning News says have a, quote, spotless harmonies. I bet you that's going to be a fantastic one. And I'll tell you what, let's do a third show. If we have any Beatles fans out there, the McCartney Experience is here on Saturday, and I do have a pair of tickets for that as well. Pick one of those three shows, get in touch with me, and you may be on your way. And one more thing before we get off of this, I want to mention that a lot of the people will hesitate to go see a, quote, unknown band. Don't be that person. First, these are free tickets, but mostly because some of the best shows I have ever seen have been by, quote, unknown bands. Most recently for me was Amy Speace. You can Spotify her, Speace. Most notoriously for me was Bob Schneider, who I thought was supposed to be comedian Rob Schneider. Well, Bob Schneider is a fantastic guitar player who I have now seen more than half a dozen times, and I will say that he does suck as a comedian. So I will now step off my soapbox and say, as always, thank you to Ram's Head on Stage for being an amazing partner. All right, that is a wrap, but first a quick thank you to you for listening and sharing and letting all your friends and colleagues know about us, and to our sponsors for the Daily News Brief, Annapolis Subaru, the SPCA of Anne Arundel County, Solar Energy Services, Hospice of the Chesapeake, and Alpha Engineering. So now you need to hang tight because we have George Young from DCMD VA Weather standing by with your only locally forecast weather report. All that coming to you in just a bit.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been looking for ways to save money recently? Maybe you should consider solar energy for your home. Or are you waiting for the technology to get cheaper? If so, how long are you going to wait? Today's solar costs less than 20% of what it cost 10 years ago. But while solar prices have declined every year, so have the financial incentives. Bottom line, if you wait for cheaper solar, you're also waiting for lower incentives. Take my home, for example. My solar system was installed in 2010, and it's been paid off for almost 5 years, and I no longer have to buy any electricity for another 15 to 20 years. If I waited for cheaper solar, I'd still be paying an electric bill. At Solar Energy Services, we have thousands of satisfied customers who are sure glad they didn't wait. So what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Call us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be, so you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMD VA Weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMD VA Weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMD VA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Tuesday, August 8th. Yesterday brought severe storms to the Annapolis region as expected, but fortunately not very damaging or destructive on the whole in the end, which is a good thing, and now the region will likely see plenty of sunshine and seasonably warm conditions, with the exception of some showers and storms in the PM hours on Thursday. Look for sunny skies with breezy highs today in the mid-80s or so, with more sun and less wind tomorrow with highs in the upper 80s to maybe lower 90s in spots, followed by clouds and mid-80s Thursday with an elevated chance for showers and storms in the PM hours, before skies then clear again with more sunshine and mid-80s to maybe lower 90s each day, Friday through Sunday. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMD VA Weather. Make it a great day out there today. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to follow DCMD VA Weather on Facebook and Twitter for regular updates each day, along with the website at dcmdvaweather.info, so you can always stay weather informed.
The benefits of a good night's sleep are well documented. Sleeping well prevents weight gain, improves concentration and creativity, and boosts the immune system. So, what keeps you up at night? If you run a business, then the security of your computer network may be one of those things. Threats like ransomware and phishing are becoming increasingly sophisticated and pose a real risk to any business. Don't let these cyber threats keep you up at night. At Alpha, they've been helping their customers sleep better for over 30 years by monitoring in real time and hardening network defenses. And for those irritating IT issues that arise every day, Alpha's just a phone call away, helping your business run smoothly and helping you sleep better, knowing Alpha is on guard. Give Alpha a call to see if they can ease your worries and help you get the rest you deserve. Find them at alphagetsit.com.
Coping with advanced illness can be overwhelming, and determining the best options for a loved one isn't always so easy. But here at Hospice of the Chesapeake, your hometown hospice, we want you to know you do have a choice. You can choose exactly who provides the care and the type of care you receive, and it's your decision when and where your loved one receives that care. We have served our community, family, and friends for over 40 years. We are there when you need us. Learn how we can help at hospicechesapeake.org.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.